Hello, everyone around the world. Satsanga, the astrology. I'm back to talk about the Capricorn new moon happening in just a couple of days, January 2nd or 3rd, 2022, depending on where you are in the world. And good news. A new year starts promising to be better. And that's why I chose this silver color, because I think it's promising with this new moon in Capricorn starting the year. I think it's promising of something silvery, let's say. If that means an association with the silver metal, which is clear, shiny, right? It's associated with the moon, Selene. So I think this new moon has its promise of creativity and the power of change as well. So I'm gonna, the first part of the video, I will describe the very basic aspects of the new moon. And then for those people who would like to go deeper into the meaning of this new moon, because you have a special project to start in the house of Capricorn for you. So I will add a little bit more information. So you choose how long you would like to watch this video. So also I would like to tell you my contact information. If you like my kind of videos, please subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified every time that I publish a video. And you can also follow me on my blog, where I write dailies and special events. I recently wrote about the prelude to this new moon, where you find some more information that it is included in the chart, but because some of the aspects that just happened a couple of days ago are carried on in the new moon. So I encourage you to follow my blog. When you go to Satsanga Astrology blogspot.com, you find on the right-hand side followers, where you can follow the blog if you like. I also publish on the social media, and you can email me if you like some more information. But I just wanted to give you the announcement that I am starting the second year of my teaching. So I have the course again starting in January that you can take advantage of. If you like to go deeper in learning how to read a chart, how to interpret the chart as a whole, not just separate pieces here and there like the sign or the house of the planets, but I teach you how to put things together. So without anything else, I will change my share screen, and I will show you the chart for the new moon in Capricorn. So here it is. I choose this time the Astro because the software I have is so bad. I mean, I don't advise you to buy that. But anyways, I'm buying a new software. But in the meantime, I'm using the let's see, the astro.com chart, and this is how it looks with the decans and the Egyptian terms and all that. So this chart is mainly, again, cardinal Earth, with a huge stellium in Capricorn. So we can expect radical changes in the physical material world. So again, there are changes that you are making that are very tangible, physical, and you can appreciate them in the material aspect. So Capricorn is the sign of the 10th house, right? In the world chart, starting at 0 Aries. So this is the chart that I show you for that applies for everybody, is the natural zodiac. So as you see, the nodes of the moon, and I also use the true nodes. The nodes of the moon are still in Gemini and Sagittarius up until January 19, where they ingress in Taurus and Scorpio. And again, the true node. I know that different astrologers use either the true, the mean node. So, but I found this most accurate. So they are like the portals of the zodiac this time, because they are guarding all the planets on one side of the nodal axis, and it happened to be between the south node going to the north node. So I think we are very pressured to leave the past behind, and I know that many people are hoping, when are we coming back to the world like it was before the pandemic, where we are encouraged to leave that behind and go to the future. And the future is Gemini, is a different kind of thinking, having this possibility to handle information, more information. And Gemini is a very inquisitive sign that looks for details, look for data, and wants to base the beliefs, Sagittarius, in the facts, in the data. So it's not, it's now we have Jupiter at 0 Pisces, promising very good things, very spiritual and dreamy, and a little bit confusing as well, because it is increasing the chaotic soup that is favorable to the creation of new things. So in this regard, Jupiter is very positive in Pisces, squaring the nodes, especially ruling the south node. It is giving us another broader perspective, right? And even cosmic perspective of our beliefs, our belief systems, our cultural identities or cultural assumptions, right? And it's kind of in the sign of Pisces, they are dissolving. And this might introduce confusion, as I said before, and I've written in my blog. This might stir more confusion and disillusionment, but this is necessary in order to create, to prepare, right? Is the closing, as you see, Pisces is the closing of the natural zodiac, and most of the planets are in the last quarter or the last quadrant of the zodiac. So we are in the time where we are wrapping up a cycle, right? And it's important that we have this new moon in Capricorn. It is something starts in society, in the structures, related to the structures of society. And it falls in the Egyptian term of Jupiter and the Venus decan, because that will be Taurus, right? The first decan is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So here we have Venusian themes for this new moon and Jupiter. So there is an expansion of the material reality, probably there could be laws or new beliefs about how we handle the material resources, right? Changes in beliefs, a new way, new moon is a new way of doing things. And plus, we have in the same sign we have Venus and Pluto, and Venus just conjoined Pluto, making a transformation, right? Again, there's this also this meaning Venusian theme that is transforming itself. So I think this new moon has a lot to do with the material, our values about the material stuff, about the physical reality, how we approach resources, money, relationships. So even though it's Capricorn, but it's all about Venus themes, and also not only relationships, but the structures in our mind that that we attribute to relationships. So, for example, how we relate personally, how we relate to other people. So it depends, of course, and with another layer of meaning, you can add the house where Capricorn inhabits in your birth chart, right? So these are the main themes of the new moon. It happens at 12 degrees 20 minutes, January 2nd. In the Western world, in the Eastern world, it may happen on the 3rd. As I said, depending on where you live. One important detail about this new moon is that even though invisible, right, under the sun rays, the moon is out of bounds. What it means is that by latitude, it is too far from the line of the sun, right? The sun travels imaginary around the earth, right? Because it's the earth that travels around the sun. Anyways, but the moon is out of bounds, which means that emotionally we are behaving in very erratic ways, very unexpected ways, eccentric ways. So the moon can throw havoc in our emotional life, and at this time, even though invisible, you know, in general, invisible moon is less energetic, you know, is the low tide, etc. But in this case, I think it is behaving in a very unexpected way, and we may find ourselves in very extreme emotional situations depending on what happens for you in your life. And it also is in trine with Uranus, which adds this jolt of electrical, you know, energy that may bring some sudden radical change or insight that makes you understand something all of a sudden, and something completely changes, like a thunderbolt, you know, in the middle of the storm, that shows you with a light, a bright light, shows you all of a sudden eureka revelation, right? So, and so about these, the trine to Uranus, I think it's very significant because it can change your plans surprisingly, and there might be out of the ordinary situation or circumstances in your life. But on the positive, it could be a good surprise, you know, that allows you to start anew in the house of Capricorn. And you may feel free from daily patterns. You know, the moon is daily habits. You may free yourself from daily patterns because of this sudden happening. And your life could be turned upside down for whatever happens. So it is an adventurous aspect. It's a trine, so it will flow easily. Oftentimes we get confused with the trine energy, thinking that is favorable, that is positive. It doesn't mean that it's positive or that is good for you. What it means is the energy flows easily, right? The Uranus energy flows very easily with the moon and the sun. And so it is more acceptable. For example, if you go eccentric and I don't know, you decide to dye your hair violet, it will fall well, you know, well, not with Neptune retrograde anyways, but an example for something that you can do out of the norm for you. So if your violet hair is the normal, then changing to natural hair will be a change that is out of the norm for you, right? But that was just an example to illustrate that you can do something that is different in your life from what is expected of you, and or what you expect to be normal for you, and it will be okay. It will be acceptable. You will feel at ease with it. So it's an opportunity to express your uniqueness and to feel comfortable with it. You may discover also very creative ideas. All of a sudden have this click in your mind. And it's, you know, Uranus is very progressive. It may be related to technology or something that you find on internet, or a skill that you learn, something that is innovative, and it also promotes self-awareness. And you may be more confident showing that aspect of your personality that is different, right? Because the sun and the moon are essential parts of your personality, and Uranus introduces what is not so obvious, or things that you think are strange, right, in your personality. And sometimes we don't want to show that to everybody, but at this new moon, it will be a good way to show it without being, you know, rejected or something. So it give you unexpected opportunities to do so, to try something original, to break with a routine, and also to step outside of your comfort. And change something that it may be positive change for you. And you may also find that you feel comfortable with unusual friends, for example. And this new moon could be very spiritual. I will explain that on the second part of the video. But the last component that I want to discuss for the essential ones is the essential factors is the semi-sextile with Saturn, right? This is often considered minor aspect. I consider no minor aspects at all. I take into account the cycles of the one planet in relationship to another, right? And in this case, the sun and the moon, since are the slower planets than Saturn, they are closing the cycle they had to Saturn. So it's a closing semi-sextile. It's like having the dark moon or the balsamic moon. You know, when the moon is the very last 30 degrees of the conjunction before the new moon, and is the time when we are integrating, right? The balsamic aspect, in this case semi-sextile, is the stage in the cycle where we are integrating, in this case, the Saturnian themes blended with the sun and the moon. So in this case, Saturn is at an awkward relationship with the sun and the moon. And then I will explain some more about that. I studied in the book of aspects in conjunct from Alan Epstein. I don't know if you're familiar with this book, but it's a great book to read in conjuncts and semi-sextiles. So, okay. So now, if you had enough, I will also point out that the new moon is square Chiron, but it has already happened. And the square to Chiron is challenging the healing of our identity as a collective, right? Because I'm talking about the chart for the whole world. I wrote about this sun square Chiron and moon square Chiron in my blog. So I refer you to my blog in the last few days. I think the last one of the last posts that I did, I wrote about this. So I refer you to read some more about that in detail, so you can understand what this closing 270 square to Chiron, 270 degrees square to Chiron means. You know, the aspects, when they are waxing, it's a certain flavor. When they're waning, it's a different kind of square in this case, right? So you need to take into account that the square is not just a square, it's a closing square, 270 degrees. So with that, then I will go to the next section where I will go deeper into the chart. So for this, I would like to then explain what the semi-sextile of the almost exact the new moon with Saturn mean. So in this case, I'm going to talk in the mundane, at the mundane level, because Capricorn talks about governmental authorities. It talks about the structures of society, but the sun represents as well the maximum authority, the unipersonal authority in government. So at this point, what I see with this semi-sextile is that these authorities are challenged to overcome the fear of rejection. So, for example, with the pandemic, what they're trying to do is to avoid being rejected for not doing enough, for example. So they are oftentimes making decisions for people who don't want to take responsibility and make decisions, for example. And that could be burdensome for those authorities and burdensome for the people they govern as well. So sometimes they are purposely taking responsibilities that are not theirs. Like, for example, I don't know, in the case of the moon, taking responsibility for making decisions for women and the health of women and the bodies of women, which is none of their business, right? So, and it's very common if you experience this in your chart, this kind of aspect in your chart, you may be taking responsibility for other people, you know, and that is none of your business. And that is burdensome for you and for the other person as well. So it could also result in the isolation or the alienation of that person, meaning the son, the authority, and the separation that comes from this closing aspect. The authority may be alienated because people don't like him or her, and there is also a component of criticism, pessimism, you know, from the authority figures that are only seeing the negative and infusing fear in people, and they only worry about keeping in power and validating their power and being accepted, right? And sometimes using pseudoscientific methods and data, or you know, created data in order to have the effects that they want. But on the other hand, they may get an unwanted effect because of doing that. So the authorities are in need of being seen as mature and taking responsibility and being serious and being, you know, when in fact they are behaving inappropriately and like a teenager, right? Almost throwing a tantrum because people don't do what they want. So this aspect is an aspect of being out of touch with the reality. And so this is the elite that adopt this facade of being serious and fatherly and responsible, you know, in order to approve the opinions of people, when in fact they get the other way around. They get the result that they don't want. So I wanted to point out that because it's very interesting how a semi-sextile that some astrologers may consider minor, it is really important for the reading of the chart. So as I said, Capricorn is, the new moon in Capricorn is a new change in the structures of society, meaning from the top down. But also wanted to speak about two more really important aspects that oftentimes are not noticed. So one of them is a septile, meaning 50 1.5 degrees. In this case is about 50 degrees between Mercury and Neptune. See, Mercury at 0 degree, we have 30, and plus 20 is 50 something. So a 50-degree aspect is a septile, and it's considered a vibration of spirituality. So this relationship between Mercury and Neptune gives us a spiritual perspective on things. So it is a supportive aspect for this new moon, because when you have radical changes to your material world, then you need this vision, this intuitive understanding of a higher purpose in your life. So the other thing is that Neptune is at the midpoint between Mercury and Uranus. If you see, the distance between Mercury and Uranus is 369 and something, 101 degrees, and the midpoint is the 50 degree, as I said, the septile. So this would be like biseptile, which is also a spiritual aspect, right? And it has about 1.5 to orb, 2-degree orb, but it's very important because this Neptune at the midpoint of Mercury and Uranus, right? Mercury and Uranus are the planets of the mind, the planets that have a great work of the mind, the nervous system, the brain, right? And while Uranus, Mercury focuses on the details, but he is in Aquarius as well, governed by Uranus. So it is a brilliant mind. And not only that, but if you look at the, let me make it bigger so you can look at this decan of Uranus and the Egyptian term of Mercury. So we have a repeated double whammy of Mercury and Uranus, right? So we have this mind of a genius that is revealing things to us, and we have this biseptile with Uranus, and the midpoint, as I said, Neptune. So Neptune gives us a visualization of our dreams, of the vision of a new way of living, a new lifestyle, a better lifestyle, right? That is more, that encompasses more the spiritual aspect of life. And even though it could be confusing, again, as I said, you may become careless or irresponsible on the negative influence, but on the positive, it gives you this thinking outside the box that has almost a cosmic perspective, very spiritual. And you may understand, all of a sudden, you may understand in your mind and in your gut the revelation of secrets that have been kept from you. And since Neptune is in Pisces, it could be related to healthcare, it could be related to health and healing, and there could be also either confusing revelations or very inspired revelations about healing, right? So we can get both. You can have deceptive information, new innovative information about health and healing, or you can have this intuitive tapping into a way of healing that is completely out of the norm, that you may not even understand why. So I think this is a great new moon for us to get a better understanding of our social situation related to health as well. And another thing that I would like to point out is this asteroid called Hygeia. She is the third biggest asteroid in the belt of asteroids, and she just got into Scorpio, where she will meet the south node of the moon. And I will talk more about later. I will probably make a video about this because it's so important when they meet. And she is with Mars and Pluto, you know, the deacon of Pluto, Scorpio, and the Egyptian term of Mars. So Hygeia is the goddess of healing, is the goddess of hygiene, right? Mainly healing through hygiene, or healing through preventive methods. So it may be completely transformational here, where we can learn new things, new ways, different ways. It's like the death and rebirth of hygiene, right? Completely new ways of dealing with preventative health or healing methods. And another thing that I wanted to point out is Ceres in conjunction with the North Node. And I think pretty soon they will be together. And this will mean, I'm not sure if it is that they meet at the cusp, but I think that this is crucial because the nodes are coming into Taurus, and Ceres is very comfortable in Taurus, talking about resources for food, especially food and nutrition. In the North Node is increasing that kind of energy. So it is already conjunct, but it will be precise pretty soon, probably in the first 2 weeks of January. I didn't see the date exactly, but that will be an important date. So in order to consider new foods that are nutritious, that are good for our healing, right? So that could be applied to preventative methods of getting better, fortifying our immune system, etc. So with this, I will leave you in the thank you so much for watching, and I hope these ideas stir your mind, you know, and you may get inspiration, right, from the ideas that you hear, and I can contribute to your having an insight of your own, and understanding something better, and applying it to your house of Capricorn, right? Where you will have a new beginning of some sort. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a very happy new moon. Hopefully it's not a crisis or anything, but be careful with this out-of-bound new moon, right? So thank you again, and I hope to see you very soon learning astrology with me. So bye-bye.